Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. We're taking a look here at Cardano, seeing what's going on with ADA. It is cranking. This is really awesome to see. We love to see this. I really enjoy being able to update my Fibonacci retracement levels so we can, calibrate for new highs and see what's going on. So ADA's taken off. This is really good news for our community because we have an open trade here, as a matter of fact, from Cardano. Let's see if I can find it. So AVAX, Bitcoin profit, Bell. Near, look at 100% from near Gala. What, 76? I think it was yesterday we took profit with ADA. Sorry, I should have pulled this up before I started recording, but there we go. Okay, 32% from ADA for 3 targets. So we got 2 more left to go, but we've taken most of our profits in this one. Now, in that regard, the reason why that's important is because we have upper Fibonacci levels we want to focus on. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but we do want to pull up the back-end data as well and just kind of get perspective on what's going on. Okay, so really quick to note, with the liquidation data, let's go ahead and zoom in here and find out. We got a large amount of liquidation between 37 and 38.5. A new concentration at 39.4, and most of the shorts have been wiped out completely. We got some low leverage shorts about 43 cents roughly, but not a lot left here at about the 42-cent range. So that doesn't mean the price is going to turn itself around, but it does imply that all these poor little short guys here are pretty much out of the game, or they're hitting the reset button and effectively getting back in for maybe another short. It's hard to say specifically what they're doing, but this candle wick wiped out a lot of shorts that had their stop losses just above this level here, or they're using too high leverage, common theme in trading, to effectively be able to get wiped out. So if you are using my signals, we use 5x to 10x leverage trades, and we're very safe and careful with our trades, making sure that we structure them effectively with good risk management. Okay, again, different stories altogether, but I get a lot of good feedback recently here again from my community members. So thank you again so much for the awesome feedback, and I'm glad that signals are working well for you. Keep in mind too, if you're considering joining, sooner the better, just because we do have limited slots available, and it's important to recognize that we're going to have to make sure to prioritize, our maximum occupancy to ensure that we have good, good one-on-one with you guys. I greatly appreciate it though, either way, no matter how you look at it. So daily time frame, let's talk about this here. We got a convergence on the horizon. Correction, convergence just happened. Now today's candlestick hasn't closed, so that's not official, but it's it's fairly likely, unless the price pulls way back. Keep in mind, Bitcoin, 44,000. That's a big catalyst here, okay? Most coins are pumping right now, but you do got to recognize, and I talk about this a lot, make sure you watch my daily Bitcoin videos. You'll see Bitcoin dominance at an all-time high. As it continues to go, sorry, not all-time high, but it's a high for this year, okay? That is an extremely important thing to recognize, because that just implies that more money funneling into Bitcoin, more money coming out of altcoins, and they're likely going to be altcoins that are profitable are going to start getting hit first, okay? So that's why you see altcoins start to bleed out in these random times when Bitcoin's going up. It's like, why isn't it going up with it? Well, it's because dominance is too high. So just know that's potential. That said, we keep that in our back pocket because right now it's not a big deal, but we want to recognize that we're above the 20-day SMA, and that's an important factor on the daily. We look at the 4-hour time frame here, we can acknowledge the same thing here. This 20-day SMA running concurrent with this trend line. We draw these trend lines out just to give perspective on roughly where we're at and if we're on the right side of the tracks or not. Okay. Again, these are not definitive lines drawn on the chart. They're just lines that are important, fairly ambiguous, but also help us recognize that we are moving on the right side of the direction, or we're moving in the right direction on the right side of the tracks. Imagine, I'd like to give this analogy. Imagine swimming upstream, right? If it's just a slow moving current, you're going to be able to make your way. But fast moving, which things happen really fast, if you're on the wrong side of the tracks, it's much easier to just kind of relax and to float downstream than it is to try to fight it upstream. You're fighting upstream if you're trying to short against this coin right now. Okay. Again, now I know there's a lot of folks that are going to be, bravados shorting the top here and flexing their muscles on social media with how high leverage they're using. They fail to acknowledge and show you that they were the part of this group here that got wiped out already. So they're taking multiple attempts to get those high leverage amounts. Don't do it. It's not really worth it. I don't know, me personally, I'm cool with just slow, consistent gains. I don't need to have a monstrous trade and then have a monstrous loss the day after. That's just not how I am. Again, different strokes for different folks, not to diss on that, but just some friendly advice. Low leverage, low position size. If you're new to trading, even if you're tenured with trading, use the same amount every single time. Okay. All right. Summarize here, 4-hour time frame. Sorry for the rant. we're testing something on the RSI that is commonly a resistance level. So that could imply that this level about 4.42.3 is the new resistance. We don't know just yet, but the one thing we do know is this previous high could be retested as a new low. So if the price does come back down, it could bounce off those levels. It'll also likely bounce off 0.382, 0.5, and 0.618. So I'd highly recommend, considering the fact that the price could pull back to these levels. It's less likely based on the amount of volume we have right here at this 40 cent mark. But once again, 39.5, 38.5, and 37.7 are 3 areas that are commonly retraced to. If this is the top, you got to keep in mind, I like to emphasize the word if because we're not there yet. But if this is, then that's where we're going to go. All right. And how you know that is the case is if it comes back down and breaks through this most recent high, that validates the downtrend potential towards those levels. Just providing you with the worst case scenario. Do I think it's going to hit those levels just yet? Not quite. I think we're going to go further up before that happens. But if we take a quick look here at the hourly, just to kind of wrap this up here, we can see TD sequential, we're at a 6. We have another, 3 to 7 hours of continuation of the upside potential. We look at Ichimoku Cloud, all green lights to leave our long position open. So again, I'm speaking to my community members who are in a long trade with our signals group. It is important to recognize that we're still in good shape here. Price pulls back. We've already hit majority of our profit targets, and the stop loss is already adjusted to break even. It gives us free range to know that we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to touch it. Just let it go. Okay? Again, different strategies, but I like to secure profits. I don't know about you. If you like to secure profits, why don't you comment below and let us know? I like to hear that. I'm not alone. But again, if you're a diamond hand holder, all things aside, nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you're using proper risk tolerance. Last thing but not least is the most important thing, actually. We have a lot of KYC exchanges coming through now. Like BingX, for example, while KYC isn't required, VPN is the first start. So they just started that this last weekend. So a lot of my members that don't want to use a VPN, they're transitioning over to Bitunix. Phenomenal exchange. I have an instructional video down below if you're curious. If you do use my link down below to register, you get some nice deposit rewards. They're a phenomenal exchange, trailing stop losses, multiple targets. There's a lot of good things that they have. Other exchanges do not. So I highly recommend them. Be sure to utilize that. And I just want to say thank you again for all the support I've been receiving over the last few months and honestly last few years too. It's just you get more support when you're starting to, when people see you and recognize you more. So please hit the like button so we can get more videos like this in front of more people. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.